Hello, and welcome to the Cinema Scrutiny Podcast, the podcast where we take you through all the TV, film, and streaming news this week that we found worth talking about. I'm John, and as always, for the, I believe, 9th time now, I am joined by my co-host, Billy.
We're back. Episode 9. Mm-hmm. We're almost double digits out here, dude.
And honestly, it's flying.
Who do you know is posting content like this 9 weeks in a row? We're stomping on the competition, dude.
Never in the history of the world has there been a podcast that's lasted for 9 episodes.
That's right. We're killing it.
Yeah. So obviously we're coming to you on a Tuesday. Yesterday we just took off for some personal stuff that we both had to deal with. But today we're back, and honestly, thank God, because yesterday, after with the time that we would normally film, there was some amazing news.
Great news.
Yeah, great news this morning too. Chef's kiss. All right, we're going to talk about it like we always do. But first, we are going to start with some news that came, I believe, early last week. And that is that Obi-Wan Kenobi's Star Wars TV series is a standalone season, which is a weird way to say miniseries.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
So this is just Ewan McGregor speaking to E.T. He just kind of said it when they asked him, I guess.
Yeah.
This is honestly what I thought it was, so I'm not necessarily shocked, but I'm also glad.
This is what I kind of always wanted it to be, because I think everyone assumed it would just be a movie, and then they said it was going to be a show or a series. But realistically, I don't think this needs to be more than a season, whatever they're going to say or do, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has already been confirmed, but it's 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And I believe they're each an hour. So, like, in my mind, it was just we could do a movie, or we could just, like, you know, not cut any of the film that we're going to shoot, which is realistically, you know, where it would have, like, landed usually, and then you trim down.
Right.
So I'm glad that they can tell the whole story they want to tell.
Yeah, definitely. It's basically just like a long movie. Like an extra extension of a movie, but in episodic pieces.
Hold up. I'm reading the article now. They reconfigured it from 6 episodes to 4. But McGregor hasn't heard that, so that's a rumor.
Gotcha. I mean, it's possible. I've heard there's hurdles on this thing. There's been many hurdles on it, actually. And at one point, they were talking about, there were rumors that it was going to get canceled or something like that. But,
well, that's kind of how the movie became the TV show.
Yeah, so it's gone through many iterations. I'm sure a shitload of script changes. So, I'm totally fine with it being a miniseries, though. I don't think there's a crazy enough Obi-Wan story that they could come up with that'll extend more than a season or more than one movie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think there definitely is. Like, I think there's a lot of potential, but I don't know if it's worth doing. If it's worth compromising. Like, you can just make this, you can put it out, it can be great, and then you can just end it.
Yeah.
Or you could keep coming back. Like, obviously, the Clone Wars has, you know, like 10 seasons of amazing Obi-Wan content.
Right. I just mean, like, you could tell, like, a story and just leave it, and then
just like one story.
Yeah, just like one and done. If it's great, then you can leave it alone. It doesn't have to be milked, you know? I mean, like, realistically, if they made, like, a movie, you think they could make an Obi-Wan trilogy out of something of him, like, you know, post-Jedi?
Probably.
I think you probably could too, but what's the likelihood of all 3 of those slapping and being like...
Yeah, I mean, making a trilogy is always scary. The more content you make, the more that you risk compromising the integrity of the content.
Exactly.
But, I mean, he's definitely got enough between, like, Mandalore and... I think that's really the biggest arc that I would choose in the Clone Wars. Like, Mandalore and then him guarding Luke on Tatooine.
Yeah.
And then, like, the Rebels Darth Maul thing.
Right.
Like, all of that would be really good. I don't know how much we could play for it since it's already been canonically played out in Rebels.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a live action adaptation of that, but I don't think that's worth doing.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd do it. I don't know how willing they are to repeat what they've done in animation.
I don't think they ever would. I think it compromises when Disney bought Star Wars, and granted, some of it was made before before Disney took over.
Yeah.
But they were like, listen, we're getting rid of everything except for the movies and the Clone Wars. And like this, whatever we put out, no matter where it comes from, is canon. So like the comic books, canon. The kids' books that are like literally for 5-year-olds, canon.
Yep.
Freaking the game show that they have on YouTube, I think. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. It's like the Hidden... it's not called Hidden Kingdom. I don't know. It's like one of those like kid game shows. I forget what the old one used to be. It was like Temple something. Monkey Temple? Hidden Temple? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Fucking canon. Like the host is a Jedi and it's canon.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like even like Jedi Fallen Order. Great video game. 100% canon.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think they would ever retread something and be like, like the animated thing's not really canon. Like this is going to be what actually happened.
Yeah,
it just it's too much.
They're heavily invested in all Star Wars, so
yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited as always. This is going to be good stuff. Well, it should be good stuff. You know, we hope.
Yeah, I don't think Ewan McGregor can miss, so that's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't think he'd sign on for something he wouldn't approve of for the character. So I think it'll work out.
Yeah. Well, while we wait, obviously we had some more Star Wars news just this morning, really. Yep. So let's jump on over. So the Mandalorian, which I'm going to enlarge this image really quick because it's fucking sick. He had his own trailer this morning for season 2. We're not going to show the trailer just because the last time we showed trailers, they monetized our video. And we don't make money right now on these videos at all.
Bastards. They stole from us.
I don't want to have...
stole from them.
Yeah, but I don't want to have ads running on these videos because, like, who really wants to look at ads?
Yeah.
So we're just going to show this awesome... This is a still from the trailer. This is obviously Mandalorian and Baby Yoda just staring at, I don't know, nothing. It's off screen.
Something.
It's just them looking badass.
Yeah.
But I guess talking about the trailer, I mean, what were your like initial impressions?
I thought it was pretty minimal. I was surprised they there's a point in the trailer where like he gets into like a fight, but it like blacks out, and I think it's supposed to be from like Baby Yoda's perspective because he goes into like the shell of like the float thing that he sits in. Which I thought was like a cool perspective to like put it in, but also like everyone wants to see him beat people up. Like, I'm surprised they didn't just show the action, get people hype on the action.
I think the reason they did is because they're saving it.
Yeah, that's true too. They brought on the guy who directed Extraction. They brought him on to do some of the fight scenes.
Yeah, I know he also he was a fight not coordinator, but he also helped the fights in the Marvel films.
Yeah, in like Endgame and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he's a big action-y boy. But yeah, I think like one, it was just kind of funny that Baby Yoda like collapsed this thing right before the fight started. But also I think it's because one, they want to like save the content, but two, they don't even need to show you because he just used, I forget what they're called, like whisper darts maybe.
Yeah.
So it's just like they all just shoot out and just stab everyone in the neck and that's it.
Yeah.
So like it's not even like he has to move, like they just all instantly die.
Yeah, I thought it was also interesting. They didn't show Rosario Dawson in this at all.
Well, she might not even be in the show.
You think so?
I mean, they've been teasing like all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, literally almost every major Clone Wars character has been potentially in this, right?
Yeah.
So it just begs the question of how many characters are actually going to be in it, if they're all going to be in it. I mean, I could honestly argue that there's like one scene where there's a girl in a hood kind of like off in the distance and then something passes behind her and she like disappears.
Right. You could saying that might have been her.
Yeah, you could easily just re-CG that. Kind of like they took out Smart Hulk in the Endgame trailers.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you could fix that. Yeah, and also like I don't want to say that you don't want to like show it because it's going to bring people in, but it's just like a teaser. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like this, I don't even think there's any new dialogue. I think it's just recapping dialogue from the first season.
It might be. Yeah,
that's how it felt. So I would definitely say that like they know that you're going to watch it and they don't really need to show you anything necessarily super crazy.
That's true. I mean, you really don't. The show has enough hype behind it as it is.
Yeah. And even just like the worlds alone. Like I think there's enough here to make people excited. Like he goes to what I can almost assuredly confirm is Tatooine. The same thing, he goes to, it looks like the ice planet that he's going to with Baby Yoda is Ilum, which is where Jedi get their crystals to make like lightsabers.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. And at this time, I believe, I'm trying to think of when Jedi Fallen Order takes place. I think it's around the same time. But theoretically, like all of Ilum is under construction right now because the Imperials are trying to turn it into the Starkiller base.
Right. Yeah.
So there should be like a lot of Imperial presence. So like, I mean, looking at this still right here, it looks like maybe they actually crashed on Ilum, which maybe they got shut down. So maybe they're like in enemy territory. I don't know. But like that would be a really cool place to go. And there's a lot of exciting options, I guess.
I like the shots where they're on like that barge in like the ocean scene or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I feel like we don't really see a lot of locations like that in Star Wars.
Yeah, a lot of
the trailer felt a lot about like it felt very world building, you know.
Yeah, we're going a lot of different places. We're actually like adventuring.
A lot of new locations, adventuring, searching for the Jedi. Pretty sick concept. But are we gonna talk about this little scoop that we heard?
Yeah, I'll let you take it away because you're the one who technically found it for me. So
spicy. We got some spicy scoop news on this fucking season, ladies and gents. Holy shit! So, as we talked, I think we talked about either last episode or the episode before. We talked about Grace Randolph a little bit. She was giving out information. I think it was about Mandalorian.
Yeah, it was last episode.
Yeah, so she was saying she had a scoop about how like halfway through the season, a lot of shit would change. The storyline would basically flip in like a hard direction. And I think Dave Filoni actually even came out and said either this week or last week. I think he was in the Entertainment Weekly.
It was Jean Favreau in the ET review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said there's a lot more characters this season, and there's going to be a lot more focus on these other characters and not just the Mandalorian. Which is kind of low key. It's like setting the seeds. Like you're not going to see as much Mando this season in the Mandalorian. So the scoop is that there is tension between Pedro Pascal, the guy who plays the Mandalorian, and Disney/Lucasfilm. He wanted a scene, or maybe multiple scenes, where he took the helmet off, or you could see his face and everything. And they basically gave him a hard no. They were like, "No, you're not doing that. We're sticking to, the mystery of like the character of like not seeing him, et cetera, et cetera." And he basically got like difficult to work with, and Lucasfilm basically just told him, "You should leave," which is like,
that's tough.
Oh, that is a big fork in the road right there to just be like, just get out, like, dude. But I also understand from Pedro Pascal's perspective. You're on like one of the biggest streaming shows out right now, and you want your face to be seen as an actor. Like, do you know what Pedro Pascal looks like?
Yeah, I do, but I know who Pedro Pascal is.
Yeah, but like most people don't even know who he is. It's like, as an actor, you want people to see your face. It's low key the reason Captain America never wears the helmet. It's a lot of the reasons why they took Thor's helmet out.
Also,
well, yeah, but.
I'm not saying that Pedro Pascal isn't an attractive man, because he is.
But that's the point of a lead actor. Like, you want to see their face. It's like the hero thing. And I don't think that... I mean, I don't know what extent he wanted to be seen. But I would imagine, like, he's alone with Baby Yoda in the ship or something. He takes the helmet off to look at him. I don't know. You could have a scene like that. But, like... I don't know. That's a lot. Like,
I think that Baby Yoda actually might go against the code thing, because Baby Yoda is a living creature. So I think it'd have to be like IG-88 or whoever that was. IG-11, 89.
Whatever. Whatever android he falls under.
I mean, honestly, I think that Disney is playing the right moves. I think that...
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Pedro Pascal, to me, very noticeable actor. Yep. I mean, like, if we're talking, like, everyone loves Narcos. He's in Narcos. He's never wearing a mask. We're talking Wonder Woman, the new one coming up, which we're going to talk about later. He's the main villain. Again, no mask.
Yeah. It's true.
And I understand. Like, I understand that you want to get your face out there so people are like, oh, I want to see more of him. Genuinely, and like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, Disney does not need Pedro Pascal for this show at all.
No, they don't.
And I mean, to be honest, Pedro Pascal doesn't need Disney. Like, he doesn't need this show. He's fine. He's going to get work.
That's true.
Like, he's a really, 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 really good actor who's been in Emmy Award winning television. He's going to be in Wonder Woman playing a main villain, which is going to boost him again. Like, he's a good actor, but it's either we're compromising the integrity of the show to appease this guy who, again, like, I genuinely believe that if you, like, removed his character, like, if you removed Pedro Pascal from the show and you didn't tell anybody, it would take more than one episode for people to realize that he's gone.
Probably. I mean, his voice is modified in the helmet to an extent, so I don't know how accurate it is to his voice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this dude could never show up on set and just come in and do the voiceover, and like that'd be it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if it would cost the idea of removing this Mandalorian character from the show, which I don't think it would. But like you said, like you could put in a body double, and the voice work can be done because it's a modified voice.
Yeah, it's also, I'm not gonna lie, if you can get any like super good voice actor, they'll give you Pedro Pascal all fucking day.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
It's pretty easy, especially when you're modulating it on top.
Yeah,
easy peasy.
I don't know. I just think this is it's an interesting turn for this show, considering it's such a huge show, and it's honestly a big, I guess you could say a Hollywood move to be like, I want my face to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely
very Hollywood move, and a lot of times the studio wants that move to be made. Just like we want, to promote our actor, yada yada yada.
Yeah, but I don't think Pedro Pascal's the one putting people in seats, right? Like, Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans theoretically bring people to the box office. Not so much in the first things, but like in the first movies, they wore the helmets, right? And it's like as their faces become more like iconic, they always wear less helmets afterward.
Sure.
So I don't think that his face is like enough to really put it out there.
You saying Pedro Pascal's ugly?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's going to make me watch this. Like, oh my God, I got to see this now that his face is in it. I mean, like, and granted, he maybe wanted just one or two scenes, but it's like, bro, we really don't need you. And I know that sounds terrible. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I understand both perspectives because realistically, they don't actually need him, but also, like, from an actor perspective, like you're acting and
I mean, I think he does a decent amount of acting with the helmet on
like
and
those
everything.
skills, I guess. Yeah, it's more of like a physicality acting though,
Yeah. Also, to be honest, he kind of like he's just trying to leverage the fact that it's season 2 and that like the show has more clout.
Yeah.
Because he knew exactly what he was signing up for. They told him. They're like, you're going to wear this all the time. You're going to maybe take it off once.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then he goes, okay. And then season 2 comes around. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, well, fuckhead, put the helmet on.
Like, shut up and get out there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to comment because, like, we're not actors.
Yeah.
I do think it's ironic that he doesn't want to play the show. Like, he doesn't want to play the character anymore because he's like, I don't want to wear a mask. And now that, like, everything's happened, because this was obviously before, like, COVID hit.
Yeah.
Now he kind of sounds like a bitch. Because, like, if that's your argument, like, I don't like wearing the mask. It makes me uncomfortable. Everyone's wearing a mask, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Is Pedro Pascal anti-mask? That's what the headline's going to be.
Oh my God.
I'm making that the title of the episode. I'm not making that the title of the episode.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the show. Because if it's to an extent where, like, they had to cut some of production and they had to, take this route of, like, using other characters more to, like, fill in the gap of missing Pedro Pascal, how much is that going to affect the storyline? Are we going to see an Ahsoka arc? Is that going to happen? Like, I don't know.
Honestly, dude, The only thing that I know is that it's still going to be good. I know that
Probably.
I'm an optimistic person, but like Dave Filoni, don't miss.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty fucking good at what he does.
Yeah.
So,
Like Pedro Pascal leaves, he's like, oh, let me just reach into my fucking bag of amazing characters. Like literally the best characters in Star Wars, I fucking wrote them. Let me get them.
yeah, they're in there.
Yeah. So
They're in
he
his
gonna
bag.
pull out. It's gonna be good. All
We
right.
will see. We'll cover the Mandalorian as it happens. And when it does happen, we're definitely gonna want to hear your guys' thoughts in the
yeah.
comments. You know, what are we thinking about this plot twist? I guess you could say. But
All right.
big news for Mandalorian. Anyway,
Let's keep moving. So next we are going to transfer into some DC related news for the next couple segments, and the first one is quick, easy, and painful, and that is Wonder Woman was pushed back again, this time to Christmas Day.
no way. That's so crazy. Why would they do that?
Oh, I don't know. It's like a pandemic or something's happening.
Yeah. Dude, is Wonder Woman a Christmas movie?
God. Yeah,
Is that a
it's so
Christmas
stupid.
release type of movie? Can you ever imagine Wonder Woman coming out on Christmas Day?
I mean, no, it didn't. I was about to say Star Wars came out on Christmas Day, but it was like the
It did.
20th.
No, that came out on 25th one time. Pretty sure.
It was like Last Jedi, maybe?
I think Last Jedi. I think you're right.
Yeah, I agree though. Like
Or maybe
they
it was
all
the
felt
24th.
like December.
Well, whatever like the week of Christmas is, that's like the Christmas release date. It's
Yeah, I
not
was
the
thinking like the 21st was like Star Wars, or like the 20th.
Yeah. Whatever a Christmas week is like a Christmas release. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, it's
It
original.
took the spot of something else. Something else moved.
Oh,
I can't
really?
remember what it was though.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
gonna read the article a little bit, but I don't think so.
Another
anyway,
movie was on that, and then they moved, and now Wonder Woman's taking it because they were in October, but now they're pushing it to December for high hopes that probably won't be fulfilled.
It says Dune was gonna be scheduled for December 17th, I think, or December 18th.
That's right. Okay, so it was Dune.
Yeah,
But
that hasn't
however-
been pushed back yet either. I don't think.
Now
They just
no,
haven't
it has
announced
no
a release date. Yeah.
Exactly, but let's be honest though. I mean, we saw the Dune trailer.
Mm-hmm.
There was no like. I feel like that movie was too like dark to be a Christmas release movie. You know, a lot of Christmas movies are like really bright, colorful type of
Yeah.
family vibe. You bring your family to the theater for Christmas. I don't go to the movie. I don't go to the movies like during Christmas week or anything like that.
Yeah.
But some people, that's like a big tradition. Like Christmas Day, you go to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Did the Dune trailer come out this week? And we don't have it on here. Oh boy.
It might have. I mean, I don't have anything to say about it.
Oh Lord.
I enjoyed it, but like I don't know what else to say about it.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
we're getting off topic. So
Yeah, we are. We are.
Wonder Woman was originally going to come out October 2nd. It's scheduled now for December 25th. I don't even think it's coming out this year, or January, or February, or March. It's
I think
unfortunate.
if it gets pushed past March, I think they might put it on HBO.
Nah. I think
You don't think so?
nah, because I mean they would have done it already, right? Like this movie, the original
Maybe.
release date was last year. So, and granted, they pushed it back a couple times for like actual reasons.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
And sorry, I'm moving my super squeaky chair around. But
This movie is done too. This thing is ready to go.
yeah, it's been done for a while. I think the main problem is they know, like, listen, putting it on HBO, you're just putting it out. These people know they have $1 billion on a hard drive. They have
Yeah,
it.
they do. That's true.
So you could wait until the end of time. You're gonna get that $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like for Tenet came out, people were watching it, and I think Tenet is genuinely the reason this got pushed back. Tenet's hiding their numbers. They're not even
Yeah, they-
telling people what their like hourly income is because they don't want to scare people. They're like, it's not about ticket sales. It's about people coming back to the movies and Christopher Nolan's blockbuster.
It's about the culture. It's about the culture of the theater.
Yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, you're not making any money. And that's fine. Listen, like, if you wanted to put something out to help float theaters for a while, respect.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. But Wonder Woman, like, there are, theoretically thousands of jobs relying on this movie to make $1 billion.
That's true.
And
That's also
nothing
true.
is more painful than knowing for it, like, genuinely, like, especially, like, take Fast 9, for instance.
Yeah.
movie probably won't even be good, but Vin Diesel, I mean, I'll enjoy it, but like it's not going to be like
Fast 9 is a $1 billion movie they're sitting on.
like
but they
Vin
don't give a
Diesel
shit.
knows for a fact that shit is going to give him $1 billion. All he has to do is wait, and it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
why
true.
would you put it out if you're only going to make 100 million opening weekend, or like I don't know,
Not
like
even. They won't even make that much if you put it out right now.
yeah, I think Tenet
Well,
made
they're putting
100
out in May.
something because
It made 100 domestic or not domestic, international.
yeah, and then
But
like
that was after,
76 or 50
that was after
million.
like 2 weeks. It took them like 2 weeks to hit that, which is crazy because it would have done that opening weekend no problem
Yeah,
if it was a normal time.
so like
but
Tenet might make its money
realistically-
back, but that's not what it's about.
Well, business wise, that's what it's about. But Tenet will be in the theater when this comes out if it drops on Christmas. Guarantee it. Tenet will still be there.
Yeah. And when I say it's not what it's about, I mean like it's not about breaking even. It's about making a fuck ton of money.
Well, yeah.
Which like Tenet's just gonna break even, that's fine. Wonder Woman, the Marvel films. Genuine Marvel was supposed to have 2 TV shows and Eternals and Black Widow all out like today. All of it.
Yeah. Eternals
So-
was supposed to be August, right?
I think so. It was like August or November maybe. But either way, not even talking about it. Like honestly,
That's true.
they didn't even mention it. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean Black Widow's coming out? You guys like that? I'd be like, what about Eternals? Eternals
They
is
have to
done.
They have to sit on Black Widow because it's the next thing in their cycle.
Yeah.
That's the next promotion in their cycle. They put anything else out, it's gonna, all of a sudden Wonder Woman's getting
Put on
Black
the
Widow's
back burner.
getting pushed under the rug on the back burner. Tough times out here for these studios and their execution.
Yeah. It's going to be a
not
long
going
time
well.
to fix everything too. Because like, say vaccines come out, everyone feels safe, right?
Yeah,
How long does it take for all these movies to come out successfully? Because like all of a sudden that first weekend, everyone's like, oh, let's just fucking shell the movies out. And
Yeah.
then there's like 20 movies that you want to see. You want to see Wonder Woman. You want to see Black Widow. You want to see, I can't even name another movie that's coming out that's been pushed back, but there's definitely more. I just can't remember any off the top of my head. But you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden movie theaters might be showing older stuff. Or Tenet, obviously.
yeah.
Movie theaters might be showing old stuff to get you back in. What if they're showing like Empire Strikes Back? It's like, well, I gotta go fucking see that. Like, that sounds sick. Like I can go see that in IMAX. Like, woo. Like it just, but then it's like, are you gonna compete? Like, can Wonder Woman really compete in the same opening weekend as Black Widow? No, she's gonna get fucking stomped on.
That's a fucking matchup right there, dude.
Um,
that is studios. Honestly, I don't think they would ever do that. in
That's
the
what I'm
same
saying
weekend.
though. Someone's gotta move though. It's like, so who's moving? And then it's like,
It's
how
all
long are we
moving.
waiting?
Wonder Woman would have never moved to Christmas if Dune didn't move. That's a guarantee. Because they're afraid of it. And regardless of how big Dune is or like what they
I think
expect it to do,
Dune and them
That-
are the same studio. Wonder Woman.
well, yeah, I guess that's another story. But
Yeah.
if they were another studio, it wouldn't matter. Like Dune's projected to be this big epic thing, blockbuster. Like Wonder Woman naturally is going to stay away from that. Black Widow's naturally going to stay away from that. And if you put Wonder Woman, Black Widow in the same conversation, same weekend drop, you're talking about Wonder Woman is the first like female centric superhero movie ever. And then Black Widow's the first Marvel female led, well, I guess Captain Marvel was, but like she's the OG female superhero in that franchise.
Yeah.
So it's like you're pitting those two up against each other. That's just they're gonna lose money, both of them.
Yeah,
It's
but
all
I'm saying
that's how bad the release date movement is. Like
the
if you
question
look
is
at like
though,
a regular calendar on a regular year, like it's just loaded because they have to create space.
well, that's what I'm saying. Who moves, right? Because I guarantee as soon as they figure it out, like if they told me on Monday that everyone was going to get the vaccine on Tuesday, Marvel would put that shit out on Wednesday.
Sure.
Like they
But,
wouldn't
I mean-
do anything. They'd be like, we're fucking going. And the question
the
is,
answer-
who goes, right? Like if everyone tries to go first, who stays? Who backs away?
Whatever Marvel says, everyone else is moving.
So you think Wonder Woman would move?
For Marvel, yes.
Okay, so you think it's
It'll
a bigger
it'll
film.
come down to the well, I think so. I think that they would move off of not because I think it's a bit bigger film, but because it's a bigger train in the way. You know what I mean? There's more people connected to it. There's more hype connected to it. And I think Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman's huge audience. Like you said, $1 billion movie sitting on the hard drive. It is. But I don't think anyone in Hollywood is going to see Marvel drop a release date and say, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Let's drop the same day. Like, if you're in the same category of, like, genre, no, you're not dropping the same day. Because you're asking to get smacked. You're asking to look bad. I don't know. That's just my thought process. Because on a regular release schedule, that's what it looks like. On a regular yearly calendar release schedule, Marvel drops a release date, everyone's moving.
Yeah, people get out of the way. That's fair.
But I don't know.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, I don't think this is coming out for a long time. They're gonna wait until they can make the most money, and we'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing it.
Yeah.
Just like Tenet, but when it's safe.
Yeah, probably fucking at my house.
Yeah. True.
So anyway, moving on. We're moving on to a different story, which is a better story.
Yes.
This is The Flash restarts everything. The Flash movie. It's going to soft reboot the DCEU.
Yes. This is known information.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because they're restarting it, quote unquote, similar to how J.J. Abrams rebooted Star Trek, which in 2009...
I don't like that quote.
That's a great quote. What are you talking about?
Is it?
Well, okay, so the reason that I think it's a great quote is because when Star Trek was rebooted in 2009, they rebooted it in a way that was canonically accurate.
Sure.
So they're not like, it's not like we're rebooting it, whatever happened before didn't happen. Star Trek 2009 creates an alternate timeline based on a series of like alternate reality events that create a diverging path. So the original Star Trek still happens. It's called the Prime Timeline. That timeline still exists. It all happened. But then over here, we got we got Star Trek 2009, we got Con 2, and then we got Star Trek Beyond. And it's its own universe, but it doesn't compromise the integrity of the original one, which is where I want to see this. Because I like the idea that, say, not the Michael Keaton ones. I'm looking at a picture of Michael Keaton. Like Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, like that all happened. Like it was all serious. But now, here's a different timeline, a different Earth, where that we're gonna run with. Like it happened this way this time.
Right. It's still a parallel universe that we're gonna run with now.
Yeah, but like you still say that the other universe is canon, but this is also canon.
That's right. Yeah. Now, okay, I understand, and that all makes sense to me. Great way of explaining it. However, I don't think the average moviegoer is going to catch that.
I think they caught it in Star Trek.
That I see. Did they? I feel like anybody who saw the new Star Treks were like, they rebooted Star Trek. That's it. Like, I don't give a fuck what happened before that. Anybody new, I'm saying. Like, if you're new to Star Trek or, like, you don't, like, follow Star Trek to, like, a massive following or anything like that, like, you're just like, oh, they rebooted it.
Sure, but at that point, then why do you care that they rebooted it at all?
A new Star Trek.
That's what I'm saying. Because this helps keep everyone in line, right? Like no one actually like if you're new to Star Trek, you're like, oh, like I've heard of that. Like Star Trek's a thing. It's like Star Wars, right? And then you go and you see it. It's like neat. But like if you know Star Trek, like you've been watching it, you look at it, you're like, oh, this still makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they're just gonna be like, oh, we're just redoing Batman v Superman. Like we're just literally redoing it.
Yeah.
You know, the people who have already seen the film are like, well, what the fuck? Like, I already saw it. What? Like, why am I here? Right? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they go, well, like, the Flash, you know, he ripped through the time continuum and created a bunch of alternate realities, alternate universes. And it's like, great. I understand that. I like that. It's like the comic books. Let's go. And then people who have not seen it, they're like, sure, like, it's a movie. I'll go see that. Like, oh, I like Batman. I like Superman. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily about those people who haven't seen it yet, because then it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because also when they reboot it, they're not gonna, you know, like they're not gonna come out with another movie and just be like Justice League.
No, no.
You know what I mean? Like Star
I
Trek
think this will be
2009.
like a pseudo Justice League. Low-key.
Yeah. This one definitely. But like for instance, Star Trek 2009, even though I put the 2009 like in it, there's no movie that's called Star Trek. There's the TV show Star Trek, and then there's the 2009 film Star Trek.
Isn't the first Star Trek movie called Star Trek?
I don't think so. It's called Star Trek: The Motion Picture. That's the full name.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's like saying the first Avengers is Marvel's The Avengers.
It is though.
That's dumb.
It's not Cap though. That's definitely 100% the official name for the film.
I know, but I hate when people just say Marvel's The Avengers. It's like, bro, it's just The Avengers. Shut the fuck up. Don't put Marvel in front of it. We know it's Marvel.
We're working with it.
I don't like it. Get your company name off the title. We know.
Stan Lee's. I mean, you get like Sid Meier's Civilization, like the games. But that dude just kind of, I don't know. He's a good guy, but he feels like an asshole when he puts his name in front. So I agree with what you're saying.
I don't know. I think you and I obviously are very interested in this movie and what they're going to do to reboot, because they need a reboot. They fucking need. But also, I just think that like time, when you start fucking with time and timelines, some people just get they go left with it. You know what I mean? They just get lost. I mean, think about this, right? Our good friend Raph. We've had many debates with him about the Endgame timeline dispute.
Well, it was an argument about timelines versus alternate realities.
Yeah, but like, he's like, this contradicts that contradicts this. But then like, us talking to him, we're like, we totally understand Endgame. Doesn't, there's no hiccups. Totally makes sense. But like Raph has like 3 different spots where he's like, this contradicts that. This is all fucked up. It's like, to us, it's not fucked up. But to him, it is fucked up. So like, I think that can create a divide with some people. And I think there's already somewhat of a divide with these DC movies, because some people, the entire like audience is either like, this is shit or this is good. There's no in between. And it's like, we need a hit. We need a fucking hit on this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hate to say that anything led by Ezra Miller wouldn't be a hit. But I really don't like him as the Flash at all.
I don't like him either. I hate seeing pictures of him as the Flash. I don't like his face. But I think that's part of the mask. I think that's like the helmet thing. I don't think it's like his face. Like, I don't hate his face. I just think that like his face doesn't look good in that mask. So I hope they redo the costume well. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what the Flash normally looks like, and I guess but I like the CW Flash. So I guess it's kind of a weird
Grant
argument.
Gustin's fucking great as the Flash. Everyone wants him to be the Flash, but he can't be.
Maybe it's that you can't see Ezra Miller's neck. Like, maybe that's it. Like, I don't know.
His neck looks like one of those like plastic, like ribbed tubes or whatever. You know what I mean? You see like a construction site. That's like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I understand like the practical like concept of like the Flash costume that they came up with in Justice League, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like I know they want his eyes for like camera work just because it plays better for the actor.
Yeah,
but I feel like they should just white over his eyes. Like they should just literally just put like white caps in there, kind of like they do in like the actual comics.
Oh yeah, like Deadpool.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it would make him less emotive, but I think it would look better. I think it'd make the costume look a bit better.
Yeah, I'm always interested to see that, because I think obviously like Deadpool kind of gets away with it because he's a little more animated, and they kind of just run with that and let that happen. But that works for him because that's like his character. But like if you do that with like, if you're trying to do that like a practical stance on a costume, it's just you're gonna take away all the emotion from like his eyes and shit.
Yeah, honestly, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, maybe that would look gross.
Yeah, I mean, think about like when they did the armor suit for Affleck, and they had his eyes just like lit up.
I like that. I did like
globes. I think that worked though. Yeah. Because it's Batman. He doesn't have to give you a range of emotions or anything like that.
Yeah,
the Flash could.
Because the Flash is supposed to be funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Ezra Miller's not funny.
Yeah, they got to work on that.
Yeah,
they got to get a better script in there.
They made him like cringy and awkward, and that's like where his humor comes from instead of just being like witty.
Yeah,
because like the Quickster has a quick wit. Wow, but instead they just make him fucking like feel up Gal Gadot. Like, haha.
That's Joss Whedon.
Yeah, which
Toxic set environment.
Also, we didn't talk about, but yeah, Jason Momoa backed that up.
He did. Jason Momoa did back up Ray Fisher. Big sad, big bad.
Yeah.
But also, that's another thing though. I wonder if the Snyder Cut is how, like, when the Snyder Cut comes out on HBO, however that's received is going to heavily affect this movie.
Yeah.
You know? Because he is, this is still linked to that. So if that's like a totally different movie and like it totally changes perspective on all these characters, what if we don't want the reboot? What if we don't want to move from that?
Then we gotta rewrite the entire script again.
We're in jeopardy here. I think we're in jeopardy here. I don't know. We're teetering a line that is somewhat dangerous, but also, I don't know.
I think that this is the best possible move they can make. No
I agree. I agree. I just am afraid of what people are going to say.
Yeah, I just think they got to move forward. They got to be willing to incorporate new actors. So they're like, oh, it's an alternate universe. Like Ben Affleck's not Batman. Michael Keaton's Batman. Cheaper actor is Batman. You know what I mean? And then they can, like, they don't need to get you back for the next film. They can just have somebody else be Batman. And it's like, like Batman, Earth 617. Like,
Pattinson. You're going to bring Pattinson in.
Could do it. I don't think he would do it, but he would.
I'd kind of fuck with it.
Yeah.
I kind of fuck with that idea.
But, like, you get my point. Like, you can just grab anybody you want, do whatever you need.
Yeah.
Like, opening the can of worms that the comic book has helps you a lot in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right. Well, we got to move on for time. So is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Not with this. I'm good with this.
Okay. Yeah.
Dangerous,
exciting. See what happens. Yeah. It's definitely a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it pays off.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next. Super easy, super quick. Just great to hear news, really. Thor 4 script. Chris Hemsworth fucking loves it. That's all I got to say.
Really all you got to say, I guess.
Honestly, the reason that I think it's good news is because originally it was rumored that Chris Hemsworth was very angry because he was going to get written out. They were going to like remove
just about to bring that up.
Yeah. They were going to put in Jane Foster as Lady Thor, and that was going to be it. Like, she was going to be the new Thor. So to hear him say that and he wanted to play Thor, obviously, like way more. He's not done.
Yeah.
So to hear him say that he is like very excited about this script, he thinks it's better than Ragnarok. Yeah. Like, to me, that indicates like I am still here. Like, I'm gonna be here after the film ends.
Definitely.
And that's all I need to hear. Like, that's really the point of why I wanted to bring up. Like, I'm just glad that it sounds like he is going to be sticking around, especially because it took him 3 movies to get started.
It's a good cosign, for sure. And especially since there were rumors before saying he was upset, this is good for him to come out and be like, yeah, this stuff that's coming out, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. And I'm not leaving.
Yeah. So I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
great news.
Good. All right, we're gonna move on because that's quick, but also just good to hear if you like it.
Yes.
All right. So this is gonna be another thing we're gonna talk about for a hot minute, I think.
Yeah.
And this is Jonathan Majors, who is in the new HBO Lovecraft show. I forget what it's actually called. Lovecraft Country, maybe?
Yes, you're right.
He is going to join the MCU, and he's landing a role in Ant-Man 3, which is a weird place to start this.
Yes, it is.
But he is rumored by multiple sources to be Kang the Conqueror.
That's right.
Which is fucked.
That is pretty fucked. It's a big character, big villain. Now, I don't know about you, John, but the first time I was introduced to Kang the Conqueror was in this little game called Lego Marvel.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2?
That's right. Yeah, dude, he was a big villain.
Yeah, it was great.
I don't know if you know this, but a few months back, it was reported through the trades that Peyton Reed pitched a Fantastic Four script to Kevin Feige. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Well, he did it. Now, what do you think of Peyton Reed? He directed the first 2 Ant-Man movies. On a scale of like him to the rest of the directors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Peyton Reed.
It's pretty good. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mean Ant-Man 2. Not honestly, nothing that would like directorially I think would have changed my mind. Like, I think Ant-Man 2 feels forgettable in some sense, but
Yeah.
I don't I don't even think that's necessarily Ant-Man 2's specific fault.
Yeah.
Like I think it's partly that it's literally sandwiched between Captain Marvel, billion-dollar first like female superhero in the MCU, Infinity War, the ultimate end cap, and Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It
So
did
it's
happen
like,
in a very odd space in the timeline.
yeah. And granted, Ant-Man literally saves the MCU almost single-handedly by coming back and re-inspiring everyone to fucking do something.
Yeah. I really like Paul Rudd's Ant-Man as a character. Like
Yeah, I
it
think he's a
fits.
great character.
He works with everyone so well.
Hmm.
Um, but now if I told you this, Peyton Reed's gonna make Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
what would you think of that?
Based on this information, which I think we should take a little bit of time after I answer this to explain who Kang the Conqueror is,
Yeah.
I would believe that that movie that you were describing is Ant-Man 3.
Now that's very fucking possible.
Yeah.
Now there are fucking rumors about Ant-Man 3. Well, first of all, let's explain who Kang the Conqueror is.
Yeah.
And you probably know more information than me on this because you played Lego Marvel 2 more than I did.
I beat it, yeah.
Now,
So,
from what I understand, he is a descendant of Reed Richards.
yes. His name
And
is
he's like a time traveling Reed Richards villain type of thing.
his name Ned Richards. It's something stupid. But yeah,
Fred.
he is debatably a descendant of Reed Richards.
Yeah. So he's like this super like smart, powerful, like time traveling villain.
Hmm.
He does all I don't know exactly what his powers are other than like time traveling and shit like that.
Yeah, it feels
Um
honestly like that. Like it's just immortal time travel, and then because of that, he just has like all of the information, all the skills that he needs.
he has like extensive knowledge and shit like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt. It was just like it was that, it was future tech.
Right.
Yeah, it was like ancient knowledge, future knowledge. Like
Yeah.
he's literally a man outside of time, right? So I think that's where the majority of his like power came from. But he has had alternate incarnations that do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. So now he's I guess you can like classify him as like a Fantastic Four villain, but also he's kind of an Avengers villain at the same time. He's a little bit of both. He
I
can
think
interact with basically anyone.
Yeah, I think he starts out. I think originally he started as a Fantastic Four villain
Right.
originally he is experimenting with some Doctor Doom, and this is like in the future. This is like his start.
Yeah.
He starts as a Doctor Doom, like he's experimenting with Doctor Doom's time travel devices,
Yeah.
and he gets sent back to ancient Egypt. He, using his like knowledge of the future, becomes the Pharaoh,
Yeah.
and then he changes time. So the entire timeline like ripples back, and then Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four in like the current, like the present day, realize something's going wrong. They go back in time.
Yeah.
They beat him, and then they send him farther into the future than he was even at before.
Great.
So like yeah, so he gets beat by his great grandfather, like great, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And then from the future, he's like, all right, fuck the Fantastic Four, fuck like everybody. And then he goes on. It's like hard to explain, but it's like I don't want to say a conquering spree because that's like what he is. But he goes and he just fights all of the different heroes from all timelines in like all these different things to prove that he is better than everyone else.
Yeah.
So he'll go and he'll fight Captain America in the 40s, and then he'll fight the Avengers like right after Endgame, and then he'll go back and he'll fight like the 1940. I guess that would be Captain America again. I'm trying to think of like, you know, like even earlier, like some weird like Revolutionary War man.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like at that point, I don't even think he has an end goal. Like he's just fighting people to prove that he is the best.
Right. He's just conquering among all space time reality and shit like
Yeah, like he'll fight entire worlds single handedly. He's kind of like Darkseid, I guess, in that aspect.
Yeah. So, we're talking about a major Marvel villain here.
Yeah, super.
We
big.
introduced in Ant-Man 3. Now, like I said, Peyton Reed pitched a script for Fantastic Four a few months back. And the rumor for Ant-Man 3, I think this came out like a few months back. But obviously there's multiple scripts for every movie.
Yeah.
But there's a script for Ant-Man 3 where the Fantastic Four is introduced. And there's a script where the Young Avengers are introduced.
Oh. That's
So
also they fight Kang the Conqueror.
that's right. They both fight Kang the Conqueror. So so I think Ant-Man 3 is about to be super important, super pivoting move for Marvel for future on what they're going to do. Setting up either, Kang the Conqueror could be a massive villain.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been hearing about Secret Wars or Secret Invasion.
I think Young Avengers has been teased pretty heavily between Kamala Khan and
Definitely
Kate
has.
Bishop.
Kate Bishop, Ant-Man's daughter, has now had the time jump. She's old enough to be a Young Avenger.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Wanda's kids in the Wanda and Vision show. Um, you know, there's possibilities for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, isn't there a young Kang the Conqueror that turns into like a young Iron Man or some shit like that? Doesn't that happen
That
at
sounds
some point?
fucking wild.
I think that happened at some point in the comics.
I know that one of the things about Kang that's really weird is that because of all of the like time travel and all of like the alternate reality dimension hopping crap, there's
Yeah.
literally an organization of Kangs.
Oh, good.
Like they run like their own thing, and they're like all his like alter egos. Like they're all slightly different versions of Kang, but they're all
Yeah.
theoretically Kang. And it kind of works because obviously it's like a group of supervillains who are all egotistical.
Yeah.
So like they all hate each other. Like they all wish that they were the true Kang, or they think they're all the true Kang.
Right.
But yeah, so there's a lot of different Kang the Conquerors out there.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think
This is
what's
gonna
interesting
be-
about this one is that I think that it's teased and set up very well, which is why people were like suggesting it even before, like as soon as Endgame ended, they're like, "Who's next?"
Yeah.
Just because obviously Kang is like a time traveling blah blah blah. So when they start time traveling in Endgame, it's possible that Kang sees all of like the dimensions being altered very quickly.
Yeah, and that's why he
And-
shows up.
Yeah, he like almost like Dormammu, like he turns his attention to like this thing that all of a sudden is making a disturbance in his realm, and he's like, oh,
Right.
and
And
especially
Ant-Man's like the purporter of like this traveling and shit like that because he's the one who
on
like
the quantum level.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's probably why he'd become an Ant-Man and being like, "What the fuck you doing?"
yeah. I would also argue that I just thought about this now, just why I almost cut you off, and I apologize.
No.
Doctor Strange obviously says like I looked at 1 million timelines or like 10 million, however many you looked at.
Right.
He's like we only win in this one. So it's
Yeah.
like I think if Kang is a time traveling dude who's looking for literally fighting, he's like I'm looking to fight the greatest group of Avengers possible. Like when
Yeah.
he sees these 10 million timelines too, because that's what he does. He looks at timelines, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he finally sees the Endgame timeline. He definitely has to look at it and be like, "Oh, we're gonna do that. Like I gotta fight that."
I gotta go fuck with them. Yeah.
So
Big stuff. Big
Yeah.
stuff's coming.
very exciting. I don't want to say a little disappointing. So the coolest thing about Kang in my mind is that he can grab the best of what he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he could grab Iron Man from this timeline and Cap from this timeline, but like Cap is never coming back. Iron Man's never coming back, right?
Yeah.
So, or like even Black Widow. Maybe Black Widow would make a cameo, but like she's not coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a little disappointing because that would be super cool if he's like, you know what, you guys are too easy for me. Here's some help, and he like drops Cap.
Right.
Like that'd
yeah.
be sick.
Be pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. We will definitely follow it.
All right. We are going to move
then
on, but also, I just wanted to say again, another kid Avenger you can get is Captain America's kid. Because he
That's
goes
true.
back in time and he lives with Peggy, and there's no way they don't have kids.
Holy.
I don't even think condoms existed. So,
There's also Florence Pugh from Black Widow.
of course, yeah.
Probably,
Well, is she? I feel like she's an adult.
Is she? How old's
I
Florence
think-
Pugh?
I mean, Tom Holland's like 24 or whatever, but he's marketed as a kid. I think Florence Pugh's
Yeah.
marketed as an adult, though.
Oh, is she?
I think so. I'd have to watch the movie. I don't think the trailer really explains it well.
Yeah.
But I do think she's an adult character.
We'll see how involved she gets. I have a feeling she's going to be taking up some kind of mantle.
Yeah. I feel like if they did do a Young Avengers, I feel like they'd put Spider-Man in charge.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, it'd be great. All right, so anyway, we got to move on.
Yeah.
So last story of the day. This one's a personal one for me. It's called Watch the Boys. So The Boys is like a superhero show on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. It's really a different take. It's not actually about the superheroes. This is a picture of the Seven, who are like the Justice League of the universe.
Right, right.
What if I told you that they're the bad guys?
Holy.
Or are they the good guys and, we watch the show from the bad guy's perspective? I don't know, but it's fucking great. Except I do know. Watch the show. Yeah, I don't know. Season 2 just came out. I'm watching it. I'm loving every fucking second. And I just really, it's just a shout out. Like, I just need people to watch this.
I gotta pick it up myself. But
Yeah.
we'll get into that more at the our closing remarks. We'll
Yeah.
be talking about our next week discussion.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, The Boys. Yeah.
The Boys, yeah, go watch The Boys. Why not?
All right. So moving into our final discussion, just around, honestly, it's 55 minutes in, so we might have to keep it a little tight. However, the discussion topic for the week is, within the next 10 years, who will be more successful, Marvel or DC films?
That's right. So okay, so hearing this discussion topic, to the listeners at home may be thinking, landslide pick, easy, no question. It's Marvel, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say wrong.
Really?
I think that we're, especially right now, we're in a very hot pivoting point for both companies.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we just had Endgame just happen. Marvel is now reassessing and they're pivoting. They're pivoting to their next longevity storyline. What's going to happen over multiple phases? Their next Thanos, etc., etc. Are the now the frontline heroes? Are they going to carry the story as well as the originals did?
Mm-hmm.
Etc., etc. I think there's a lot of room for flaw there, and obviously Kevin Feige hasn't missed before, but we can't sit here and pretend like they can't miss.
Kevin Feige could leave. There are rumors about that.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
and that would be very scary for Marvel.
The last rumor that I had was, and this was like months and months ago, is that he was going to possibly replace Kathleen Kennedy and come on to like do Star Wars, like fix it.
Yeah.
And that's reportedly the rumor is that's what he wants. Like
I'm sure that's what
he'd much rather be doing Star Wars, even though he loves this. He's like, Star Wars is like the sauce.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Star Wars is as big as it gets, really.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess
and obviously,
talking.
as we know, DC is also in the pivoting point. They're going to reboot or soft reboot with Flash.
Mm-hmm.
They have a chance to potentially save face with the Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm.
And they have obviously all their solo endeavors that they have. Joker, Batman, and let's not pretend like DC doesn't have its shining points every once in a while. I mean, there's some bright lights in the DC movies.
I like Wonder Woman.
I like we like Wonder Woman. Joker's good.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Can't forget the Dark Knight trilogy and what all that means for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I don't know. I thought this would be an interesting discussion for us.
Yeah.
I don't. What do you think? Who do you? Yeah. What do you think?
So, let's see. So we're talking about it film wise, which is kind of unfortunate. Just because of the way that Marvel is starting to have TV shows that are acting like movies that like tie directly into the narrative. But also, on the other hand, DC is all standalone stuff, right? Or at least for the most part. I think that Marvel has already been doing this for over 10 years. And they have a good track record. They're in the great groove. They're on the top of their game. So I think that they have a great like strategy leading in, right? Like we have
they're hitting a stride that no one else has hit.
Yeah.
So
theoretically next year we're going to get, I would assume they're going to move some movies around. We might get 3 films next year. Depending on what can start filming. But we have Black Widow, Eternals, and these are just the announced ones. Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder. So that's 5 movies that were supposed to come out literally this year and next year. Now it's got to all get pushed around a little bit. But we're talking about a decade, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this, we're already putting out 5 movies that are all going to make a ton of money. So from and I genuinely believe that all 4 of or all 5 of these are going to be like very successful. To me, these are like shoo-ins.
Well, definitely, yeah. They're all like established characters for the most part.
Yeah, but then like we start to think about like, okay, like what's DC putting out in the next 2 years? So we're talking about like a fifth of the timeline that we're working with.
Yeah.
They're putting out Robert Pattinson Batman, and that's it.
They have Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman, that's true. So they got 2 movies.
And they have Flash coming.
I don't think Flash is coming out next year.
Well,
but that's just
I just think it's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And then you have Aquaman 2 in the pipeline.
Which is also, I mean, like if we want to start adding things to the pipeline, like Black Panther 2, rip Chadwick Boseman, but they're still going to put something out. Captain Marvel.
I think they're going to move with Shuri.
Yeah, I agree. Captain Marvel 2 is definitely in the pipeline. Probably even another Thor movie is like potentially. And then like we're not even talking about like the Fox acquisition, right?
Yeah.
It's like, there's got to be some kind of
X-Men,
big
there's going to
film.
be Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That's all going to be coming.
And then none of this even suggests an Avengers movie, right? Like there has to be an Avengers 5.
Right, Avengers will be coming.
Yeah,
for sure.
So now we're up to 8. And I feel like we're playing almost like you're arguing DC, I'm arguing Marvel, which like isn't necessarily the case. But I feel like
I'll take DC side a little bit. I mean, I think obviously, I mean, we can't pretend like Marvel doesn't have the one up with like they have so much other shit going for them right now.
Yeah.
And not to mention like they have their TV shows that are tied into the universe. So that's also content coming. Yeah. If anything, I would say Marvel might have too much content. Almost. Like they're teetering that line, especially with the shows. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to people to watch and keep up with. Because I've already said the TV shows, if you want to keep up with the entire story of everything, you need to watch TV shows.
Yeah.
They're going to mean something. So, I don't know. I think DC is slowly starting to figure it out. Very slowly. And we're talking about a 10-year gap.
Yeah, 10 years is hard to plan out.
Yeah.
Or hard to even foresee. Like, if you told me, like, I'm trying to remember exactly the timeline here, but, like, 2008 Iron Man comes out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, in 10, 12 years, they're going to fight Thanos. And Doctor Strange is going to be there. And, like, yeah. And, like, I forget what his children are called. Like, the children of Thanos. Like, they're going to be there. And Cap's going to wield Mjolnir and, like, fucking deck somebody. And, like, Ant-Man's going to be Giant Man. And, like, Valkyrie's going to be... I'd be like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And then you'd be like, Smart Hulk! And I'd be like, bro, you got to go to the fucking asylum.
And they're going to keep doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're tip of the iceberg right now. They're talking about bringing in Kang the Conqueror to Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
What?
Wild.
Ant-Man's going to have Kang the Conqueror in it. Like, they're pushing boundaries. They're pushing what they can do, and they stick to the comics.
Yeah.
But, DC does too, to an extent. I mean, they like to change things up, but I think as DC has, like, their little shining light moments, I think those, in a broad aspect, are more impactful as films.
Sure, they're trying to be more of like an actual like art. I don't want to say auteur film, but like they're trying to be like Oscar films, really.
A little bit, yeah.
Like they're trying to say something more direct.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to argue too because you have the Joker that came out, and then you have Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
and it's like
that's true.
We're talking about a huge contrast of like content and quality. And that's not for me to say that Birds of Prey is bad. I didn't think it was terrible, but we're
not the same kind of level of
we're talking about apples and oranges here.
Yeah,
totally different things. I think DC has a broader audience. I think they're trying to hit more like people that aren't included.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
agree.
They're taking more risks. They're taking more experiments, which is a position they can have.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, Marvel doesn't, like, they don't take risks because everything they do hits.
Well, the downside of the MCU is that as it grows larger and the narrative becomes more complex, you start to lose people who haven't seen everything, right? Because like
Exactly.
you're
And
building
that's
this
gonna
universe.
that will show. That 100% will show in 10 years. There's gonna be people who are like, I can't keep up.
Yeah, I think it really depends on how they structure Phase Four's new content coming in,
Yeah.
because it's theoretically a soft reboot. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to have any information crossover from what previously happened.
Yeah.
And also, you could argue that given streaming services, that you can just pay $7 and catch up. You know what I mean?
True.
On like Disney Plus, get everything, get in, get out, be done with it. And obviously, you could watch a quick intro, or like maybe if the TV shows do mean something, it's possible that Marvel will start putting like like a little like 5-minute thing in front of a movie where it's like, this is what you need to know. You know what I mean?
I could totally see him doing that too.
Like this is what happened last time. Like
Yeah.
okay, like last week on fucking on Marvel's Avengers.
Oh my god.
And then like you get what you need and like you're ready to go.
Yeah.
That could be helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing for me that's going for DC is that given the Flash reboot and their standalone film like idea, because right now Marvel will never put a movie that they're like, this doesn't connect to anything, this is just a film.
Yeah, I agree.
I think DC's willingness to have standalone film and like a tied universe,
Yeah, their ongoing timeline.
yeah, I think it has the most potential. And that's all that's really all I can say about DC, right? Like I think they just have potential to go wherever they want.
Yeah. They have no barriers.
Yeah.
They have no boundaries of like, oh well, continuity's gonna break here, and the only thing they have, that could go wrong, I guess, is people like, why isn't this character in this, and why isn't it all connected? And
Yeah, I mean, I think DC's biggest problem right now is itself, like putting out actually just quality film. Like, I don't even care about the timeline. Just put out something
Yeah.
that's good for now. That's the real
That's true.
problem.
yeah, and not to mention they're having so many issues behind the scenes now. Like we said earlier, Jason Momoa just stood up for Ray Fisher. That whole situation, it's not looking good.
Flash is like a little bit in trouble just because they've rewritten the script several times. They got new directors.
Development hell.
I mean,
Now it seems like they finally got someone who's committed, but how committed is it going to be? Is it going to fall apart?
yeah. I mean, Aquaman 2 even. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that there's like drastic trouble, but I mean, Amber Heard is getting demolished.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to hear rumors that she might still be in the film.
Yeah.
And if she is, like, well, it's gonna be problems.
Yeah, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah,
For sure.
So we're gonna see what happens there, but it's just a lot, right? Like they have a lot of choices and a lot of potential, and I think that Marvel is trying to reopen that potential a lot. I think
Definitely.
that
Yeah.
you keep hearing like, oh, like multiverse, like we're going to different universes, we're going to different timelines with Kang the Conqueror, different, I think they're trying to expand the mind of what Marvel Universe is.
Yeah.
And if they can do that successfully, then they reopen the potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they just regain or just reinforce their entire train of hype that they have behind them.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's hard to again, like it's hard to say who will have the better position in 10
I
years.
feel like we're pussyfooting around an answer.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I feel like
Soft stepping.
in a way, I
Sidestepping.
feel like they'll be in the same position, but just on a higher scale for each of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I see DC passing Marvel, but I also don't see DC totally falling off. There's too much money to be made for them to fall off.
Yeah. I think one of the problems that I could see with DC is that when they start to do, like, if the shared universe starts to pick up, then how well do these standalone films start to, like, exist? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when all of a sudden people start to feel like a zeitgeist of, like, oh, like, this happened in this, and this connects to this. And then all of a sudden they put out, like, another standalone film like Joker. People were like,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Like, where does this connect? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you have to just have strong marketing for that, which I think is possible.
Yeah.
I think that the problem is DCEU doesn't really, in my mind, sound like standalone enough. Like, it's just a really weird, like, DC extended universe. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's the acronym.
Yeah, but like you need something that says like when I slap this in front of you at the movie theater, you know for a fact without a doubt that this is connected. And then when I slap this logo in front of you, you know that it's a standalone.
Right.
Like with
That would be smart to differentiate the two.
yeah, kind of like with Star Wars. Like they did the anthology thing.
Yeah, Star Wars story. Now it's just a Star Wars
Yeah,
story.
Star Wars stories. And like you can even tell as soon as the films start, right? Like Rogue One starts, there's no crawl. Shit just starts. Or
Yeah,
like,
I think that's smart.
Yeah, like when Solo starts, they do like a Blade Runner thing, which was sick.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But yeah, it's like you know that as soon as the film starts, you're like, oh, this isn't part of the universe. But like I understand that, and that's good.
Yeah, I agree. That would be smart on DC's part to differentiate even more, because it'll, it's going to solidify who's watching what, and it'll be make a lot more sense.
Yeah, you get a little bit of it in Marvel, where it's like if it's like one of the Sony films that like isn't tied like into the Spider-Verse or something, instead of like the Marvel logo where it's like you're weaving through the letters and it's like you see everybody doing all the stuff. Yeah. I think they just literally just like slap the word Marvel on there.
I think they do too.
Yeah,
or it's like a Spider-Man themed Marvel logo or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a little bit more, I don't want to say cheap, but like they would never use like the Marvel Cinematic Universe logo.
Oh, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has worked, I think, for the most part in explaining what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So as we're coming to an end of our discussion here, I guess the, give me the hard pick. Like if you had to choose one.
The hard pick is definitely going to be Marvel, just because it's safe.
Yeah, it's a safe pick for sure.
And don't get me wrong, I would love to see DC surpass Marvel, because if I'm being honest, I grew up with those characters, and those are the characters I realistically care more about from a longevity standpoint in my life. However, I love the Marvel characters just as much as them.
Yeah, I think the Marvel in the last 10 years has made me care about these characters.
Exactly.
More.
Everyone cares about them now. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you were with them in the past. Now it's like you care about all of them no matter what, because we've seen everything. We've been with them. So, of course, I want Marvel to succeed. I don't want them to fall off. I want to keep watching their movies. I want to go to the movies and see all their stuff. But I would also love to see DC pop off and get the kind of following that Marvel has. Of course. But if we're talking about in the 10-year span where each of them is going to be at, I'm going to say Marvel just because they have the track record to prove that.
Yeah. I think I'm probably in agreement. I think that if DC puts itself on the right track and does everything right from now until 2030, I think at best they get to the Avengers. Like they get to a Justice League that means something. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah,
but I think that's as far as I think they can come. They can get they can have I guess it really is just exactly what I said. Like it's Justice League where you care about Batman, you care about Wonder Woman, you care about the Flash. Honestly, I don't even know why we needed Cyborg. Like, I mean, hopefully the Justice League Snyder cut will tell me.
Yeah.
But it's like I'd much rather, really, for every Cyborg, I'd rather have Green Lantern. I'd rather have Green Arrow.
Yeah, we want to see Green Lantern.
Zatanna. Like I want to see all of these characters. And I want to see them done well, but we need the time.
That too.
Yeah.
So we need the time, and I agree. I think that can happen, and they can do that. It's just a matter of taking the time and committing to it. They just have to commit. That's really what it is. They're afraid to commit to something.
Yeah, I think the thing.
If they stuck with Zack Snyder and his vision and what he wanted to do, I think there would be a lot more people on board by now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in 10 years, I see them at an Avengers level, like the first one, 2012.
Right.
Where it's like, wow, this is cool. They're just getting together in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
With Marvel, even though I think we can both agree that they play it relatively safe, I genuinely can't even imagine what bonkers ass shit they're going to be doing.
They're going to be doing nut shit that we didn't even expect them to do.
Every movie that you watch in its own little thing, it does, I agree, it kind of feels safe, right? Ant-Man 2 didn't really feel like it did anything interesting. I mean, most people would argue that about every Marvel film, but I think they do interesting things.
Yeah.
But when you look at it as the whole, it's we went from literally just fighting a dude, a dude with a mech suit fighting another dude in a mech suit,
Yep.
to these freaking like transdimensional alien war conquesting, like the
Yep.
fate of multiple timelines and alternate reality. Like literally everything hangs in the balance.
Boundary pushing movement.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
it's crazy.
changing everything. It's insane. It is insane. 10 years, we're gonna probably have like Magneto and Doctor Doom teaming up or some shit like that.
Giancarlo Esposito as Magneto, though.
Yep.
That'd be sick. You know what? Fun fact: he's in The Boys season 2, and I think season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's good. It's real good. I won't spoil who he is or like what his point is, because like we're gonna watch the show. So anyway, that brings me to my next point, which I think unless you have something like very, very last thing to say.
No, I think I made my point.
Okay, good. Yeah. The point is, watch both of the series. They're going to be great, I think, both of them.
Definitely. Yeah.
So anyway, as we come to a close, what I want to do next week is I want to talk about the Boys pilot episode. I want to do that as a review. Because I've already seen the show. Billy hasn't. I suspect a lot of you at home probably haven't started it.
John's shoving the boys down our throat. That's what he's doing.
Whoo! It's so good. Like, honestly, I would take the sponsorship. Like, we meme in my in the Discord, because like I literally put TM next to the Boys, because I'm like, this show, like, I would take a sponsorship. The show's so good. It's so different. It's just so funny. His name's not Kurt Cobain. Fucking. Oh, who's the name of the actor? It's not Kurt Russell either. It's Carl Urban. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, Carl Urban.
Carl Urban's in the show. He's fucking amazing. Oh my god, such a good actor.
Good actor.
Yeah,
wish he was Batman. To be honest,
that would be sick.
I'd love it.
Oh, he's got the jaw for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him as Bones a lot in Star Trek. And like, if Carl Urban, if your 2 introductions to him are Star Trek, the reboots that aren't actually reboots as we discussed, and he was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, he was, but he didn't look like Carl Urban in that.
No, but I mean, he still
had like a bald head and shit.
He still was Carl Urban.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if those are your 2 introductions to him, like, you're about to this man completely changes for this role. Ooh,
go watch Dredd.
Yeah,
it's fucking good. He kills that.
Yeah, but like, he's so good. The Boys is so good. Watch it. We'll talk about it next week. And that's all I have to say about it. I'm just really excited to get everyone to watch it, and then I'm excited to hear Billy's opinions.
I'm excited to get on the train because I feel like I hear so much shit about it, and I kind of write it off because I just, me and TV shows. But I'm definitely interested. I love superhero content, as I'm sure everyone knows, because that's really what we talk about the most on here. But when the industry is dominated by it, you got to talk about it. So.
Yeah, this is something that flips the whole genre on its head, and I think I won't even.
That's what I've heard. It's new. It's like it's new and fresh for the genre, which I love to see. You love to fucking see it,
So, all right, and we will see it next week.
We'll see you then. Watch The Boys.
Yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Tell your friends if you like the episode. Get them to watch our other episodes.
Please subscribe. Turn on the bell notification.
Yeah, ding ding. All right, guys. We will talk to you next Monday, I believe. So we'll see you then.
We'll see you guys.
All right, have a good one.